Hello, good evening, and welcome. Hope you're all well. Hope there's going to be a few people joining me. It's been a while since I've done one of these on my own, and like with a lot of things that are going on at the minute, I've been a bit all over the place, experiencing quite a few different emotions, and just doing my best to keep my head level. So it's been a bit of a strange journey. So as I'm waiting for a few people to come on, like my main thoughts at the moment is, anybody else dealing with strange energies at the moment? Is there anybody else struggling with what's going on in this strange world that we're living in, these strange times at the moment? Because as an energy sensitive, it has been really, really strange that lots of things that I can't quite figure out and put to mind. So it's kind of like, I mean, I'm one of these that's known for winging it anyway, but these last sort of 6 months have just been quite overwhelming, to be honest, and not knowing where to put myself. So reaching out to people that are like-minded, speaking to lots of different people with lots of different thoughts there, and this is sort of culmination. I'm looking at building up the YouTube. And I've included everybody from Facebook as well. I'm showing as one person on there at the moment. So if there's anybody else coming in, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Comment, say hello. Let me know what's going on in your life. And I say the same thing with everybody that comes on here. If you're on Facebook and you get any sort of notifications from any of the spammers and scammers and energy jammers, as I call them, please block and ban. And just let me know if there's anybody out there. I'm only showing as one at the moment. I'm hoping all my systems are working. I've come up here early and got myself all set up, so anybody can let me know what's actually going on out there in the world. Yeah, just double checking there. So if there's anybody out there watching, we've got 3. It's like one of these Australian satellite delays at the moment. I'm looking around thinking, am I on my own? No. Hi, Misty. Hope you're well. So, just thought I'd come on here tonight. I'm going to do a bit of a plug as well for the work that I'm doing with the wonderful Annabelle at Fortune Cookies. So we're doing a live thing that goes out live in America at 8 o'clock in the morning, and on our side of the pond, 1 to 1:15 p.m., where we're doing spiritual upliftment and guidance for people. And Fortune Cookies, Annabelle is an absolutely amazing tarot worker and spiritually connected person, and we just sort of bounce off one another. We're looking at the 4th episode coming up. I'm also plugging the Psychic News Network, which we're reading and live next Thursday, whereas we've been filming on a Thursday, ready for the episodes to go out on a Friday. Where we discuss events of the day and bring in tarot and things like that. So it's been a strange time, as I was saying, because the shows are starting to kick back in now. So it's been busy, but been up on stage, done a couple of platform nights, a couple of psychic evenings, and a couple of very successful fairs. And it's back nose to the grindstone again, but it's gone quiet again. So I just thought, right, I still want to connect with everybody. I'm one of these people that if you've shown me loyalty and you've been really good to me, then I always want to repay that all of the time. So right, let's get going, because if there's a few people that come in, then I'll quite happily read. And if there isn't a lot of people on here, well, I ain't lost no. I'm just having a little bit of a plug there, because full time, this is my business. I do free readings on here, but if you want to know any more details about the readings that I do, you can follow my stuff on YouTube, follow my stuff on Facebook, all of that sort of malarkey. And all I'm looking at doing at the minute is self-promotion, because I'm trying to get over my tech phobia and get a little bit better. All right, so Misty, we've got, and I'm just going to pull you another card as well there. Hi. Right, so we have got the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, so if I've got any tarot readers out there and anybody that's actually looking at this and going, what's he talking about? Right, my style of reading, I had a lot of training with 2 or 3, 4 different trainers. that taught me about tarot. I haven't got that great a memory, so I remember bits around what the tarot card means. And then I put the energy out to spirit. So this is just like my prompt. So I've got the King of Wands here, and the King of Wands is that dynamic, driving person that deals with things practically. So I'm a storytelling psychic when I start to work with my tarot card. So with that King of Wands there, he's sat happily on his throne. The thing is with him, he's one of these people that when he's put to task, he's all right while you keep him engaged, but soon gets bored. So this is the message that's coming across for you, Misty, at the moment, is in some practical way, it's time to strike while the iron's hot. If we've got things that we need to sort of get moving, it's now time to sort of jump on them rather than saying, I'll procrastinate, or I'll look at it and I'll get round to it, or there's this, that, and the other in the way. This is what this is saying to me, is now time to crack on and do it. Whenever I see kings and queens in my readings, I always think authority, whether it's male or female. If it's male, then it tends to be that sort of more dynamic energy. When it's female, it tends to be that more of that sort of coercive, loving, gentle, nurturing way. When I've got this King of Wands here, it's about having a bit of fire in your belly and a bit of enthusiasm. So it may well have that you've just stopped a little bit, you've lost track with something, you've lost traction. So this card's just coming out to say, finding that fire in your belly and cracking on and actually making moves down a pathway that you would like to be down. I've got a gentleman in spirit just very quickly coming in for you as well. And what he's doing at the moment is he's just put his hands down over my eyes. So my suggestion is, when he's doing that, is to clear all of the boundaries, get everything out of the way. It's almost like doing an assessment, a tidy up of everything that's going on around you. Have a see if it's useful anymore, because when I'm seeing that, I'm just feeling like hindrances or blockages. Time to strike. So the angel card came out. Yeah, it's safe to trust. The ability to accomplish many things at once. And this is where this comes in for you as well. Follow your creative passions. So get out there and put something in, basically give life to something, but go with your gut feeling as well. Right, let's just get through a few of these comments. So, yes, the Monday morning show's picking up momentum. Some interesting, there's been some great feedback on it as well. People coming to me, and the thing is, all of my work is not designed to tell anybody what to do. You're given a theme or a topic. So in my head, one of my little characters that comes out is that modern day philosopher. I don't like to see people struggling or suffering with anything. So I just give my feelings towards things. And if I might ask a direct question, I give a direct answer. No part of me is ever going to sit on my lives and say to you, I'm a guru and you should follow everything that I do and every piece of advice. I do my level best to lead by example. So when I've said something, it's usually something that I've experienced, and I've probably done it wrong as well. So I feel help people avoid making some of the mistakes that I've had. But I'm quite happy to stand there in that support role in the background. I am not bothered what people feel about me. I'm bothered what I feel about me, and that's my drive. But in regards to when we sit on the shows like that, my energy connects in with the audiences. It connects in with the lovely people that I've had the fortune to work with. And we just come out and we generate that vibe for the tribe to come and join in with us. So, yeah, very simple idea, which, bless Annabelle, she does the bulk of the work. She indulges me. Hi, Sue. Hope you're well. All right, let's get down these cards, and we'll give these a shuffle, because I'm going to get off at about 10 to 8 o'clock at the latest, purely because I get into this and I could be on here for hours, and I love doing it, but it's very energy consuming as well. And what I've learned over these last few months is not to give until you've got nothing left, because I've had one or two other things to deal with, and they've been emotionally exhausting. So this is my commitment. I just love doing this work, but I'm not going to keep running myself into the ground over it either. So Susan Stafford there, we've got the Knight of Cups there for you. So being an old cynic, and not a very romantic guy whatsoever, this is my card where I go, it's like that nobody puts baby in the corner type of thing, that emotional, sugary, smolty stuff. But this is where I have to put on my professional head. So I'm doing my best there to smile. So the Knight of Cups is an actually beautiful card there. Sorry, I'm just losing my voice there. I'm just hearing about somebody that's around you that passed to the spirit world with cancer that affected the throat, the voice, and all around the chest area. I'm not sure who I've got with that, but they seem to be sitting in with me tonight and coming in quite close. So that's affecting my voice as I'm speaking. There's this feeling of somebody that's had some sort of condition that's affected all of the voice and their ability to communicate. But back to the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups for me is that romantic knight on white horseback that's going to come in. He's going to come in with a high degree of emotional intensity. So you think about news of weddings, news of births and things like that. But whatever it is bringing in that sort of loveliness. So if you're looking at relationships stepping up to that next level, but either or explanation, all of it, what it will bring in is that high emotional intensity. It'll bring in that love, and it'll bring in progress as well, because knights are all action cards. So when it comes in, it can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming and a little bit chaotic, but essentially what it's actually meant to bring in is feel good factors. So your angel card there that came in, it's time to take action, great passion for this cause, and instinctively knowing just what to do. So because we're around the gold and the brown on that one, this is like your normal everyday part of your life that I sense that it's time to get the move on, crack on. My guide is just basically saying, grab the bull by the horns and stop second guessing yourself. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. So we'll crack on and we'll see where we're up to. This is the first time I've seen one of your lives. Oh, thank you very much, Cece. I appreciate that. I'll be truthful. What has happened and why you've probably not seen a lot of me on Facebook. I got really frustrated towards the end of the last year with the amount of spammers that came come on. I concentrate on working with my guides, my inspirers, and the energy of the people that come and look at me on this. But then you're trying to sort of look to the side there so that these people, when they come on and start offering the free readings and all of that sort of rubbish, don't spoil the majority of other people's things. And I got quite distracted by it because I'm not exactly tech savvy all of the time. So it's actually been a while. I've chosen to do more of my work on YouTube, but it's like I thought. I've got over 2,000 followers on YouTube, and they got me here. So it's not fair to forget about everybody. So sometimes I do my best to split myself as far as I can, but not always able to do that. So let's have a pull out of there for you for those cards there. So CC, for you, I have got the new relationship card. So the Ace of Cups is a new way of feeling. So 3 ways of reading this. And don't put any worries into it or anything like that. Don't get stressed out about it, because I'm not a predictor. I give the terms as I feel with these cards. So the Ace of Cups for me, if you're in a relationship or looking for a relationship, it is things coming in for you that is going to lift that level of emotion with you, much like the Knight coming in there. But this is the beginning stages. So this is not as emotionally intense when it comes in. So I look at what fills my emotional cup, if I can just get that so that it's not shining in the light there. So this is bringing in things there that intensify your emotions. In regards to relationships, it could be that you're in a relationship and it goes to the next level. So for people there that are engaged, going up to be married, you might be wanting to start a family, things like that. But all of it is like new seeds, new pathways. You might be with a friend where it goes up to that next level. But it's got that brand newness about it. So it's one of those things to say to you, don't worry about it. So you might even be in a state where there's one relationship come to an end in some way or another, because it's not literally like your nearest and dearest. It could be a work partnership. It could be anything to do with that partnership that needs renewal in some way or another. In your case, Cece, what I feel like around this card is reinvigoration of something. So finding that pathway that does fill you up with love, that does give you that drive. And just looking at making those changes as and when you see fit, because the card straight after this is a 2. And that's where we're going to elevate the choices and the energy that's around you. So your card there, release the past. You will grow from this situation. And I don't necessarily agree with this next bit that I'm going to put, but there's, as a thought therapist, there's a strategy around it where it's saying time heals all wounds. Well, it doesn't, right? It helps nullify some of the more intense pain. But what I tend to do is when I'm working with people is get everybody to design a fuck it bucket, right? And I'm making no apologies for the language here, because in that bucket goes all of the stuff that I can't change, I can't alter, and that I can't affect. So my key word whenever I'm working with anybody on therapy is about acceptance. It's not liking situations, it's not agreeing with them, it's not even understanding them. It's accepting them for what they are so that you can bring things to an end, so that you can get your new starts in. And the quicker you do that, the quicker you move on, because life will present you the same lesson over and over again until you learn the lesson. So it's all positive stuff going on around you. But as I say, I don't even work with any darkness or negativity. So thanks very much. I appreciate that, guys, for coming in. Let's get through these cards. Let's get through them. Yes. And I'm going to make sure that that's a priority, wifey, because I've seen that comment 2 or 3 times in my life. You're a very good supporter of mine, and I bless you for subscribing to me. And we speak on Discord as well. See, I'm getting down with the kids here when I'm learning all of this new tech. So, and I've unfortunately missed you a couple of times with your brother. All right. Okay. I'm pulling in 2 tarot cards. Right. So I've got the Page of Swords and I've got the Page of Pentacles. So pages, when you look at the court system, so we've got the King, the Queen, the Knight, and the Pages. Kings and the Queens are the authority figures. The Knights, for me, other than the Knight of Pentacles, are movers and shakers. So they bring action and they bring in activity. And the Pages are your news bearers, your errand boys. So we've got the Page of Pentacles there. So that's news and opportunities and chances to make or improve the way that you make money. So I see it like planting little seeds in the ground. Pentacles, money, finances, riches, enrichment, and non-material wealth. And for those of you not familiar with that term, non-material wealth means something that you will invest in that will pay dividends in the longer term. So maybe a change of job, a career, a business, or something there that's building up. But I think I sense, and this is my sense with it, it's time to put those worries behind you. It's time to move into that new era. And I put a post out recently where it was said that it's under old management, but with tweaks. And I get that sense with you, where there's some sort of situation that's going on around you. It's not telling you to like move lock, stock, and barrel or anything like that. But what it's saying is, right, as it come to its natural end, are you still applying yourself to it? Is there a move that you want to do? Because I'm not a predictor or anything like that, but there's just that sense there of just being a little bit bogged down with kind of drama, a little bit of tetchiness and things like that, because it filters neatly into the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords for me is a bit of a bitch card. Bitchy, bitching, tattletaling, people around you that might be stirring the crap, and just bringing in that sort of niggly aspect into the air. If you're anything like me, I do my best to get along with people up until a point, and then I've got to call them out. I'm not interested in confrontation or arguing with people, but there does come a point sometimes where you've got to put your foot down. So the Page of Swords for me can also represent disappointment as well. So some of the actions on the earthbound plane. So maybe somebody's not said or acted in the way that they promised. And again, this is maybe where the endings and that sort of disappointment comes in. I think of Swords as well, because of the suit of air of coming in like and cutting to the quick and pulling all of the illusion out of the way, cuts through the fog. Blue's all about communication. So it's maybe just that time now to step up, step out, communicate your needs and wishes, and just get rid of the fog and the candy floss that's around you and chuck it in that bucket that I mentioned earlier. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for him. Keep going, keep going. What we got there? Nobody's telling your mum she can't handle it. Right, okie dokie. Will we have the finances to move this house? Right. Let's just have a look when we pull these cards. So I'm going to be careful because I'm assuming you've seen me working with Annabelle. I don't recognize your name, I'll be honest, but I don't do predictions. So I'll let the cards decide with this one. I know Annabelle works in a totally different way to me. Mine is I tend to deal with the past and the things that are affecting the present. And I'm not one of these that actually go. So I'll just let the cards come in here. I'm going to sit in, not in judgment, but I'm just going to give the message, and hopefully it makes some sort of sense. Right. So there's definitely changes coming up for you on a practical level. So you think about jobs, the house move there and things like that. This isn't talking about finances. This is talking about practicalities. But what I love about the way that this card is actually termed is that you can make whatever you want with your own fair hands. So maybe this is a period of assessment for you. You know, we've got to actually plant the seeds in the ground. We've got to invest in ourselves and start to look at how we're going to bring those finances in, because the thing is, you can put out all of your wishes and all of your good intents in the world and work hard at manifesting, but if you're not practically involved in there and getting things sorted and getting things ready, then the universe won't align with it. So I get the sense there's a lot more to that question that you're actually saying. My gut feeling is yes, but it'll be further to the end of the year, if that makes sense, before everything's settled, because house moving is not an easy process. I've got the star card for you as well, which is settling times after a more turbulent turbulent times where there's healing being sent in. So reconciliation of things, bringing things back together. And the sense with the star as well is lighting your own pathway. So I do feel that you will get there. It's not specific to money, but I feel that there's a lot of emotional situations going on around you that need settling before you make that move to that new space. But always remember, and this is the bit where my therapist Ed comes in, that wherever you go, you follow you. So, you know, when people say, oh, just put it behind you and then start afresh and all of this sort of stuff, you still go with your head that you've got. So new starts, new potential, but having that fire in your belly to make sure that happens. So be practically minded as well as looking at where you're financially at as well. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. We did that one, didn't we? Oh, where are we going? Where are we going? Keep going. She was one tough lady. That's what we like to see. Thanks very much for that. Resonated. Bless you. Thank you very much. We'll keep going. Can I have a card, please? Yeah, I'm keeping this, moving along as quick as I can. Anybody that wants a reading, the scroll's going along the bottom. Don't respond to anybody that's asking for your personal details or anything like that, or free readings or anything like that, because I don't do them. It won't be me. So if you want to get in touch, my email address is mediumrick007@gmail.com. If you look at anything on my Facebook or YouTube, they will give details, but you will contact me, not the other way around. I'm available pretty much to suit you, because I'm not going to sit on here and say that I'm a medium that's in demand and I'm really, really busy, because the truth is that I'm not, right? I'm here. I live my life around my dogs and my family, and the readings sort of drop in. Where I tend to generate business is at the fairs and the shows that I do, and they're pretty much all weekends. I have been doing a bit of stand-up just recently on the a lovely event, and there's potentially readings coming in off that. But I just, you know what, I genuinely just thank my lucky stars for having the ability and the time to do this. I don't know what I would do if I had to go out and work for a living anymore. To be truthful, there's bits of me at nearly 52 that hurt, that shouldn't do. I've been to the gym today, third time in about a week, and there's been a long gap. So, you know, there's life in the old dog yet. So anyway, back on track again. So, Lucy, justice, anything to do with legalities and all of that sort of thing. So solicitors, lawyers, anybody that's got that sort of power. This is talking about a fair-minded and rational results, if we can get that there into the space without the light on it. I give that literally because that's what it says in the book when you get it. But my other way of looking at it as well is if we're looking to make steps, we've got to take out all of the difficulties in what we're thinking. So the problem with this card is that she's got a blindfold on, right? So for me, on something there that you're not quite seeing clearly, you may be just going too fast at something, expecting results quicker than what's actually logically there for you. And it's taking the steps slow and steady, but it's about equality. It's about fair-minded results and things like that. So whatever it is that it's alluding to, you're on the right side of it and you will be okay. Bit of a dreamy card there, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is known as the card of reminiscence, so past elements. So it might be that you've got a little bit nervous or a bit frightened or a bit worked up about something. So you've gone into the mind state there where, you know, it was better in the olden days and I remember my memories. Now, I always say the same thing about this card. It's a beautiful card. The past is a nice place to visit, but not a great place to stay. So this is like pulling you into your reality, saying that there might be elements of your past that you've still got to come to terms with and deal with. There could be something absolutely positive that's going to come in. And the other way of reading that card is looking at how you want to go forward. You know, it might be some project that you've, because of commitments and things that have happened around you, that you've kind of like left behind on the back burner and things like that. This brings it into stark reality now. This is things that you've done past that. And I feel with this in this particular reading that it's all about generating momentum with you and getting you moving forward. So facing up to your realities as they are now. Don't go off into that dreamy state. Don't go off to la la land, as I tend to call it, and get plans in place. June or July seems to be important around you as well, so I will just pass that on. And there's a lovely lady that's just walked past me with a fresh bunch of flowers. Sorry, she would have had trouble with her teeth and being able to speak clearly, so she's just passing on her love as she comes past and says, "Time to get on with it, girlie." Right, I don't know who this is, because how it comes in with me when I work spiritually is it comes down the tube and then I basically just and vocalize it. So thank you very much. You certainly can. I hope you're well. I hope it's nice and sunny over there in Spain. Well, it's going to be warmer than what it is here anyway, isn't it? So yeah, it'll be all right. Right, okay. So Helen, stop giving your time away so cheaply. Stop giving of yourself all the time. Now, this card is all about gifts and generosity and being in a place where you can help other people out. Money, finances, riches, enrichment, and also, as I explained earlier, non-material wealth. I always have that sort of that approach to things because in the main, that card is positive. But because I'm a people person and I want to look after other people's energies as well, I point out both sides to it. So it's being in that place financially where there's going to be an improvement, where there'll be a little bit more money coming in for you, but it's a case of juggling with it as well. So I get the sense with you, without really particularly knowing you, that you're a very generous person with your time. Now, money can be literal money, but if you think about that pentacles are quite earthy, then it could be your time and the things that you invest in other people. So I'm just feeling with that card there to draw all of your money in and look at what you're investing in. So whether there's a business opportunity, whether there's new training, whether there's new events and things coming in for you, I just feel it's the time to take that wholesale look. Okay, thank you. I don't know whether I've got dad's or granddad's energy with me for you as well, but what's just being brought in there is just a wave like this. He's just passing by. Something to do with the gardening and looking after some area of land that needs turning over in some way or another. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think what they're talking about is breaking fresh ground on something. So whether you're building something or you've got contacts with somebody about a contract, this gentleman is talking to me about breaking new ground. So that's something to look forward to. The other card that came out with it there was the Hermit card. The Hermit card is all about introspection, going within and asking the relevant questions. I love that card because it brings in the support with the staff. It shows that you've got the wisdom with the gentleman's beard there, and it also shows you the light on the path. So there's two ways of using the introspective energy. We can either focus on the narrowness of the path and worry about falling off and going into the abyss, or what's more preferable is to go, right, at least I've got a light on the path. So my feeling with you is to generate that momentum and keep pushing on forward, because you'll be absolutely fine by the end of the year. So thank you very much for that. Hi, I'm new here. Thanks very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for everybody that tunes in. I really do appreciate it. I say I'm keeping it brief tonight because I'm ready for my hot chocolate already. Shows how old I'm getting, doesn't it? I love my hot chocolate on a night time. And I said to the missus, if I'm going on too late, because she goes to her exercise class, I shoot on here and do my little bit. And I says, will you make me a hot chocolate when you get in? She went, no. So I've got to break off and make my own. There's no life of a diva in this house, I can assure you. You know, she'll go out to her exercise class and come in, and she's not going to cater to me. I'll get told, put in my place. So 5 of Pentacles for you. And the 5 of Pentacles for me, because it's a 5, we haven't quite got all of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. The money there, there's concern about money. So it's like, for me, it's good advice of when you look at a 5 and you haven't got all of the bits, it's a good time to do a financial stock take. So looking at your investments, what you've got going on around you, and realizing that money ebbs and flows in your life, whoever you are. So it's no good trying to cling on to it and get into that space of worry, because what this card is showing is that these people there are not exactly rich, but they're not poor either. They're just not seeing everything that's there in front of them. So they've got 4 things there in the background that could potentially change the current financial situation. But because they're worrying, that's what they're shedding light on. And one of my great friends on here, Paul Hutch from Fitness Hutch, talks about where your thinking goes, that's where the momentum goes too. So maybe it's just a case of you at the minute just stopping, doing a bit of a stock take, because it's an earthbound one again, remember, of doing a stock take and just having a look exactly where you are. I always advise caution with this card. So if you're thinking about making any big investments, don't at the moment until you've checked all of the boxes, checked all of the paperwork. And my feeling with it, because I'm not working on a mediumship basis with that card, my feeling with that psychic message there is don't overextend yourself. Don't take any big gambles or risks at this moment until you've got all of the pieces and all of the answers to the jigsaw puzzle. Longer term, we've got the 10 of Cups there, and the 10 of Cups talks about emotional stability. I'm a little bit cynical at times, because people put under so much pressure out there to have things and everything being a neat little line and all your ducks are in a row. So I always look at the 9 as my completion card, because for me, it's as close as you're going to get. But what 10 talks about the completion of a cycle. So it's things that you've invested your emotional time in, your love, your light, your upliftment in things. And it's one of those where the family there gathers round and everything's in that place where it's meant to be. I feel it's quite a dreamy card at times. So sometimes you might float away in La La Land and you might be a bit lost in the flowers. But it's a good uplifting card. It's a very, very strong card. It's a very, very positive card. So this would be looking at just sending some love out, sending some healing to your family, so that everybody gets in that sort of same place at the moment. So I don't know whether there's been a little bit of stormy skies around you with 1 or 2 people, but the longer term, once you've got yourself together emotionally, physically, spiritually, then by the end of this year, there's no reason why this 10 of Cups can't come in for you. It's absolutely stunning. So housing, your finances and everything all sort of coming together, which is going to give you that feeling of emotional upliftment. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. Dizzy J, welcome. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Sorry, that was my wobbly fingers there. Hope you're all well. Yes, and if you wouldn't mind, yes, thank you very much, Wifey, for reminding me of that. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, because on YouTube, I'm still a very, very small channel. I do have aspirations to get monetized at some point. It's not a massive priority, but I would like to be able to earn off while I'm doing these readings as well, because as I say, this is my full-time living. This is what I do for my job. I'm thoroughly grateful for being able to do that. But, you know, all of the best wishes in the world ain't going to buy me a bread loaf. Cheeky bugger, aren't I? But you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So at the minute, I think we're on about 276, I think it is. So what I'm doing is looking at building on that slow basis, and I'll have a bit of a celebration when I get to 300. And then if we get any more than that, great, because it's took me 7-8 years, I think, to get to over 2,000 on Facebook. And I'm very, very grateful for every like and for everybody that sort of tunes in for me as well. So, right, okay, I'm being guided slightly somewhere different for you there, Jacqueline. Welcome and thank you for coming in. So I've got you one tarot card, but I've also got one of my oracle decks, and I've just pulled you what I feel would be a now card, a now moment card. So reflection, right? So with that, if you look at the colouring of that, I hope you can quite get the colour in there, that she's yellow. Well, she should be yellow, but she's kind of like a dirty yellow because she's got bogged down. She's it might be the earthbound things. It might be something that's gone on around you that's took all of your energy out of you, took all your focus out of you, because sometimes we just have to go to guns to defend things. Sometimes we have to go into these battles. And what a lot of people forget is once they've been through these battles is actually taking time out to reflect on what's actually happened, how much it's taken out of you, what toll it's taken. Has it knocked you off kilter? Has it knocked you off the path where you got enthusiasm for initially? And when I see that reflection card, I think, well, I don't work with any darkness or negativity. So what light moment is going to come out of that? Well, this is my assessment, having worked with quite a lot of diverse people over the years in this field, that people can become comfortable in their discomfort. So what they do is they rightly go into that period of reflection and have a think and gather themselves before they go on that next push. But they stay there. You know, it becomes an unsafe place out in the world for them. They've kind of got lost in the drama of what life's been throwing at them. So they go protective. They pull the black blanket over them, as I imagine, and then they're kind of like looking like this to see whether it's safe to come out. So for me, it's a bit of a spur for you, that reflection card of saying, right, it's time to move on and move forward. And again, I'll keep reiterating this because I don't want to be coming across as unfeeling, because I know that sometimes there's difficulties out there that take a lot of processing. I'm talking about the difference between processing and then procrastinating. And there's a very fine line, because if you stay too long, you become procrastinating, and that's what looks out your window, because what we think about the most is what comes in for us. So it's maybe just that little spur and that little push to say, do your reflection period, but let's get it over with and let's get you out there again. So your tarot card, right, this is forward momentum card. So we've got the 8 of Wands there, and how I read the story on the 8 of Wands. Literally, it could be going on holiday and taking flight somewhere, but I dismiss that because I tend to take the piss a little bit and dismiss that in quite a comical way when I'm delivering it to anybody when I'm reading the shows, because my campside comes in and then I just want to say, darling, you're going on holiday, you're going on you're going to take flight somewhere. But then my serious head kicks in. And what I want to talk about with that is that Wands are practical, the fire and fuel. So this is about taking off over fertile ground. So getting things that are practical for you, putting an effort in, because an 8. So if we're looking at a 6 to 9 month forecast with this card, or even a 3-month forecast for you, there's something there that foundations need digging, something needs starting, and we need to get it off the ground. The chances are, with hard work, that it will be a success. So my sense is, even that if it's not they're relevant at the moment, then it will be as you come through the year. So it's almost like I'm asking you to clear through the fog, cut through any illusion, and put your efforts into these new projects when they come in. So as it says there, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe, and I would really appreciate it. Yes, I'm assuming you mean me. I'm sarcastic, I know. People do it all of the time, and I do make mention of it. It's probably just me being a bit of a diva, darling, but I'm Rick. Hello. Hope it makes a bit of sense for you when we get the cards going. Anyway, I'm not that pernickety, but it's just one of my little idiosyncrasies when people forget my name. And oh, darling. If I had hair, I'd be flicking it now and trouncing out the building. Oh dear. The trouble is with me, I have all these wonderful stories and the wonderful ideas going on my head and nobody to share them with tonight. So that's why I've come on here, guys. You've got it all. It was described to me the other night that I have a carousel in my head when somebody was having a conversation with me the other night. And I've been struggling a little bit because of one thing and another. So I've been focusing on mental health projects and things like that. So if you look at my YouTube, there's all sorts of different things that I've been looking at, experiences with bereavement and grieving and all of the rest of that sort of stuff. So kind of got retreated a little bit and got a little bit lost in my own mind and hyper focused on things, got too bogged down in stuff. So I wanted that bit of lightheartedness. So I was talking to somebody who thinks in a similar way to me, quite obscure, quite random. And this is how you process things when you're in that sort of frame of mind. It's like a carousel with a different character on. And as that carousel's spinning in, you play whatever part comes up on that carousel. And I've realized that I've been doing that all of my life. So it's not a mental illness in that sense, but it's kind of like with what you're presented with in your life is how you respond. So that character will come in. So there's the ex-prison officer in me, there's the ex-plasterer in me, the ex-butcher, hypnotherapy, all of the stuff that I've done. Some stages in life fit certain characters. And what I've been looking at with my own work is just pulling them all in together. Maybe I put too much pressure on myself because I love performing. I love getting up in front of people. I love helping and I love talking to people. It really is my passion in life. Anyway, I'm going off track again, Andrea, so I do apologize for this. Four of Wands is about the practical side of things. So if we look at tarot as a journey, the ace is the beginning of something where, like I was saying earlier on with that ace of wands, that we've got that flame. So we need to nurture the flame. The two, we've made the decisions practically, which sort of route that we want to go down. The three, we start to see the initial signs of success. Now, this is one where I'm not saying pump the brakes, because with the four is usually about stabilizing and stability. So if you're working towards a project completion, the chances are when this card's coming in is to say that what you're looking for is on that. You're in the middle of that sort of initial stage of completion. So this is family life. This is that. When I read it the other day, this was talking about marriages and unions and getting everybody together. I love this card. And the thing is as well, with it being red, it's all about the root chakra, and the root chakra is about stability. So imagine that you're going onto a building site, and as I was saying on one of those earlier readings, they're breaking new ground in some way or another. You should be already in that place where you're at that stage of like putting the first floor in on something, or you've got that first contract coming in, but it needs working on. So it's not a pump the brake moment and stop, but it is remembering to take time out for yourself to have a look how much work you've put in, what you're yielding, and make any adjustments. Because we then go into the element of the five, and the five is the unknown. It's that sort of mixture of elements. So it's, for me, celebrate every little victory. And you've got, yeah, so there is that stage there. And I deliberately keep the cards face down so that I can carry on. So there, I'm sensing with something practically that we might need to take a step back and just reassess something. Because that four is talking about stability, but that came out first. So when that three's coming out, that feels to me, as I've pulled this card out there face down, that there's something there that's not quite right. So what I say with that card when I'm giving it on its own is, if you imagine that what you're looking for is out there on the horizon, ready for you, no matter how much wishing and manifesting that you do, it won't come to you without your agreement and without your effort. So what that card is actually bringing in for you is that if there's any adjustments, you know, take the boss's route and meet it halfway. Go out there and get yourself organized. Very practical. But the long-term benefits with this will start to pay off as we go into the latter parts of this year. So Spirit talking about September for some changes coming in there, or it may even be birthday from Spirit World, but the September, towards the end of September, I keep seeing the number 22. So have a look around September the 22nd for something there that will resonate with you. But like I was saying on that earlier one, there's new ground to be made, but you're on the right track, and it's a stable stability is on the horizon for you. Yeah, progress. So take that leap of faith once you've done your homework. And if you've got to make changes, crack on and do them, and don't be afraid. So thank you very much. There's another one. Evening, Paul. Yeah, I'll say Rick says thank you as well. He's so bloody cheeky, isn't he? I can't believe it. It's a good job I'm telling you that I'm in two minds, isn't it? Because you'd be thinking, who's that cheeky bugger saying, taking the piss? Well, that's the thing, that if you come on my lives, you've got to take that chance, because I do like taking the piss, and I'm not going to apologise for that, because that's what keeps my little mind turning. Right. Oh, right. Okay, Vicky. So, I mean, I'm going to be truthful. You keep hearing me saying, oh, they're fantastic cards, they're beautiful cards. Well, they all are in this deck. They really are. The lady on here that does her own work, called Josephine Ellishaw, teacher, guide, and I use her cards. Right. So, like everybody, I think that when they first start out with tarot, gets a book with it, you'll have a cursory look through it. But if you're serious about doing tarot cards, for me, once you get the book, if you want to have a quick scan through it, by all means do it. But once you've done that, ping it, right? Because essentially, with all these guides and teachers that we get, whether it's spiritually, whether it's earthbound, they're not there for you when you start doing readings. You know, they'll take the feedback and they'll encourage you and all of that lot. But if you imagine stepping onto stage, it's you. So if you're reading behind a table, it's you. And you're never going to be able to sort of parrot fashion anything there and verbatim and chapter and verse about what spirit readings mean and things like that. So sometimes you just have to go with what your gut feeling is. So there's also sometimes when a tarot card comes out for me, that my guide will come in and, yes, we'll get the initial points out of it, the initial building blocks, but it's maybe something else completely different where we end up with it. Because there's always a story with tarot, and it's always evolving and moving on. And if it suddenly stops, then there'll be a reason why it stopped. So you've got the Two of Cups. So I spoke earlier on about the new relationship. This is the sense and the feeling with this card is that two heads are better than one. So I've spoke loud and long to people about when you talk about grieving, as in somebody's passed to the spirit world, there's counselors out there, there's people out there that will help you manage that. I stay away from it purely because I don't believe in counselors and people out there that tell you how you should process your grieving journey. So I tend to stay away from that. But one of the things that I do like to get involved in is whatever process, and that was on one of the lives with Annabelle, and we brought this up the other day, is about live grieving. And live grieving is when we've got something that's gone out of our lives very quickly. And I'm not talking about passing away. You know, you could lose a job, career, business deals gone wrong, partners walked away. Whatever the thing is, there's that space while you get your head together. There's that space before you go, right, okay, I'm in a space now where I can cope with it and I can deal. But you're suffering a loss. So what my sense is, in some way or another, you need to lean on somebody that's got the same mindset as that you have. This is next to the Lovers card. It's one of those lovely progressive cards that's saying about bringing people together, that union of soul. So even if it's not a literal relationship, it could be just somebody that you seek out for their wise guidance and counseling, somebody that you love, somebody that you respect, somebody that's going to honor your wishes. It's a beautiful card, say, for getting your head together with somebody on the same wavelength. It's also showing as well that the water in the background is quite calm, so it's settling those emotions as well for you. And then you've got this fantastic card. Well, this is the Ten of Pentacles, money, finances, Riches, enrichment, and non-material wealth, as I explained earlier. And what this card is about, I call it the war chest card, because it's working towards your bigger goals and the money being there. Now, because it's the completion of a journey with that, this is not saying all of a sudden you're going to get a lottery win or you can rest on your laurels and you're going to be financially secure for the rest of your life, because anything like that takes work. So one of your goals might be setting something in place for your retirement, even if it's years off, but putting things in place that structure your income. If I'd have stayed in the prison service, I think by the end of my time in there, what I was scheduled to do, I'd be quite wealthy. You know, I wouldn't have to worry about a pension and things like that, because but I'm not, right? That's gone. 11 years ago, that had gone. So my pension, if there's still one around, will be a state pension, and a small one that I've invested in since I was a young lad. But if I had my time again, I would put more money into, securing my future financially, rather than putting it in a pub toilet. The less said about that, the better. But the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles is that sort of financial stability, but it takes work. So crack on with any sort of job choices, any sort of promotions, anything there that's got a business idea that you can explore. If you start on it, basically finish with it, crack on with it, and just see where it takes you. Okay, so I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. We'll keep going because we're at 10 to 8 now, and there's still lots of comments, and I'm getting through as quick as I can as well. This is unusual for me to go at this pace. All right, let me just see where I'm going. Right. Oh, I've got to give you this card, because it's kind of like half fell out with you, Samantha. And from what I've seen, I love your sense of humor. I love waiting for your comments when they come in. I just find them really amusing. Lovely, lovely person. But what I like and what I sense about you is that you're a realist, right? You don't go for any of this airy, fairy, fluffy crap. Because you've had difficulties. I don't know exactly what they are, but I've got a gentleman's energy coming in from the spiritual world that at the minute just wants to hug you, just to ground you, and to just go, right, I think we need a bit of a pause moment here. And you've actually got one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck. So to just briefly explain, 3 cards, if you've had no experience with tarot, that tend to frighten people, and that's the Death card, the Devil card, and the Tower card, right? And I'm going to be straight with you. My 3 personal favorites in that deck are those 3 cards. Because if they come out in a reading for me, the Death card never means literal death. It means the ending of something. And if you end something, there's a big gap in there, which is the potential for powerful transformation. So I always know the Death card as my full stop card, because then I'm not going to go off wandering anywhere, because I have to come to terms with something that either needs to end or has ended. Then I can apply myself going forward. If I get the Devil card, what have I got enslaved to? What am I overindulging on? What have I got lost along the way? What am I burning myself over? And quite a lot of the times, this is guilt with people. This is emotional instability. This is what they've got angry about. This is what they're shying away from. But it's one of those that's set in real time. So when we've got the Tower card, which the artwork on these cards is absolutely stunning for me. I've got the angle right on that. So you see somebody that's naked leaping out of a burning building. Right, now, most people have got, oh, shit, is this like the harbinger of doom? Right, absolutely, 100% no, it's not. But if you look at that structure there, anything that's built on an improper foundation, anything that's shite, anything that's bullshit being thrown around at you, anything there that you think, oh, my God, that just doesn't feel right, well, essentially, it's got to be torn down. And what I do is I just imagine that if something's there going to be torn down, or it's going to be crumbling or anything like that, I put my tin hat on, go and put kettle on, wait till the dust settles, and then I start rebuilding. So there's a sense with you at the moment. It's one thing after the other. But what is going to be there once the rubble has subsided? What is going to be there when the dust starts to settle? And Samantha, the answer to that question is you. So there's that need for you at the moment to have some self-care. Learn to say the word no. Just back out of things if you need to. Don't I'm just being told to guide you. Don't keep explaining yourself to people that aren't worthy of your time and effort. Tell them how it's going to go. And if you want to change, you change. But don't be forced into sort of running to another person's program. Because the good thing about the tower is it's chaotic energy that's here now. So if we're fighting a battle on that, we don't want any extra battles with other people. Now, the tower moment emotionally can be quite difficult because there's that sense of being right down at the bottom, being at rock bottom. And I asked Spirit this the other day because I was really, really struggling with something. And I said, how come you've got to be at rock bottom before things start to change? And they went, well, it's a simple answer to that. If you're at rock bottom and that's what you've accepted and decided, you can't fall any further. There's only one place that you can go. So what that picture shows on there is that person leaping naked out of that burning building. Well, he's going to land. He might land in the crumpled heap and he'll be, probably hurting a bit and bruised and knocked about a bit. But once he dusts himself down, he's ready to go again. And you still remain true to who you actually are. So maybe this is just an opportunity at the minute to start taking the bins out, getting rid of some of the crap around you, Samantha. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. Let's keep going. I know. I bought a single phone. Yeah, I'll just explain that. So I sell these little cards when I'm doing events and shows. And how I do them, just show you an example, is I pull a card out. And for that one, we've got the 9 of Wands. So I'm going to pick somebody at random, right there. And I'm just going to read them this card. So Spirit will come in with me, and everybody that's watching this can learn tarot. If you want to learn tarot, by the way, here's a hint. Go and have a look at Fortune Cookies. Annabelle, she's amazing. She's been doing it for 35 years. But as an aside, right, I'm not a teacher. I'm a guide. So I tune into my guides and I listen to what I call the monkey chatter. It's like just finely tuning in the radio. And I start to write. So this is a card of perseverance for you, Alison. And I'm also using you as an example and explaining the storyline where we've got the bulk of the work done with something, right? But it's got all consuming. Now, I personally know one of the situations that Alison is dealing with. So it's been a period of transformation for her. But everybody's got the limits and we can get bogged down. We can get a little bit lost in the sludgier moments in life, when things aren't quite going to plan. You might not be getting the right information from somebody, or you're waiting for this phone call, or you're waiting for funding, or whatever it is, so that you can move on and do something different. But time seems to run at its own pace. So I'd write that down. And in this case for Alison, I would bring in this lovely lady's energy and say that you've got your little cheerleader out there coming out there and giving you this, giving you a round of applause and telling you that you are going to be okay. You've made the best decision of your life after much pondering. It's not going to be easy because she's singing this song, and you'll have to do some research on this one, guys, by the way. It's called I Beg Your Pardon, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. So where I go with that is that life's not always easy, but you was never promised it easy. So you've kind of got used to being in that battle stance. So I write all of that down. Then I'll look at the colour of the card that I've actually picked to write it on, and the colour of the card will mean something as well. So, for instance, if it was blue, it'd be about communication, and I'd write that in. And then I stick it in an envelope, put it in there as a takeaway, and sell them for £5. And the amount of them that I've sold, initially I did it to get rid of tarot cards that I bought that I wasn't going to use. Now I have to buy tarot cards in because I go to shows, and I've usually sold them all. So your card there, whether you ask for one or not, Alison, is perseverance. Keep on going down that line of practicality because you are on the right path. Okay. So, Felicia. Yes, Alison, we are okay. Thank you very much. I mean, Mrs. P does the bulk of the work, as I say, around here with working full time with the kids at the local school. And it allows me to tit around doing stuff with a waistcoat on. And I am absolutely privileged. And I really, really love it. I love working with people's energy. And it's what makes my heart sing. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't enjoy it because I do. It is not easy. So anybody who's out there that's thinking of going full time, I will be the first one to tell you, by all means, go for it. But be prepared for days where nothing seems to happen, or you feel like you're not reaching your potential, or you're not meeting your goals, you're not meeting your targets. But always show up. And no matter how far or how low down I've got with things over these last few months, I've shown up. And people come in and around me. I've got amazing supporters. I'm going to stop short at saying fans because I find that difficult. Somebody come up and wanted a photo with me recently, and I said to him, "Why, you got kids that you want to keep off the fire?" And they went, "No, just, you know, that reading meant a lot, and they just wanted a photo with me," which I found really, really surreal because I'm not like that at all. So, I mean, if you come and see me and you come and have a chat with me, I'm like I am that. I'm talking to you. I'm the same at home. I'd be the same if I bumped into you on the street. I've always got too much to say for myself, and I've got a big gob. And with that comes a price. So when I come on here, I just get the opportunity to show off. And the thing was, somebody said, "Do you know why do you share so much? Why do you tell people?" And I thought, well, if you've got a situation there that's like a really big business and it's high profile and you've got loads of money reliant on it, then I can understand why you would kind of like hold back so that people wouldn't look at you and go, "Oh, he's a fine one to talk." You know, you're not going to follow his example. He talks a load of shite. But if you've just got something where you're coming on and you've got a core bunch of people that come on there and they're open-minded and they're willing enough to just listen to you, consider it, and then if they want to do something different, that's absolutely fine. But not get bogged down by the fact of, "Oh, I can't be my true self," because this is me. And I feel that this is really relevant for you, Felicia, as well, that there's maybe just that time to admit that you want to do something different or you want to make those changes and stop trying to fit into a profile. I just get this sense around you when I'm pulling these cards out for you, and we'll see what they come up with at the moment. Excuse me, my nose is so itchy. I've got my guide coming in, my wolf guide. And what he tends to do is he brings in protection, and he's manning the fences, but he seems to be really, really strong. So I'm not quite sure what he's defending me against, but I'll say thank you to him anyway. So yeah, he's not trying to fit yourself into these boxes, not trying to push yourself down a pathway that you don't want to go. I just feel that you need to relax a little bit. So the two cards that I've got for you, yeah, see, the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords, you look at swords as thoughts and how you process the information that comes to you. This is like we've been through a turbulent time. We've been in a battle. I'm not doubting how strong you are or anything like that, but I think it's time to get yourself settled down, both emotionally and spiritually and physically, and just sort of take on board what's probably happened over these, well, my guide is saying 2.5 years, so that's a strange number to give, so I'm going to shorten it down to 2 years. What's been happening? You are heading into calmer waters, but it's a kind of a case of like getting your head together and processing. So some of it might go into the effort bucket that I mentioned earlier. But if you think about what swords are, it gives you that clarity. It cuts through the illusion and the bullshit. But if anything with a point on, it's going to leave a mark. So sometimes we just need that time out to recover from things that have happened. And then when we get past that stage and we're ready to go again towards the end of the year, you've got that lovely 8 of Wands card coming in again, which is flying over fertile ground, things taking flight. So my feeling with this message for you, Felicia, is to put your full stop in there, have your own miniature death moment there where you go, right, that's it, done. And I'm not doing any what I call post-morteming over it. I'm not going to look back over it. I'm not going to try and dig it out. I'm done. And once I'm done, that opens the door for new things coming in. And over the longer term, it's going to be successful. But like with everything I said, nothing comes for free. Nothing comes easy, that you've got to work for it. So get to grips with your confidence, get to grips with slight self-esteem issues, and go out there and do the work that you want to do for yourself. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right, I'm getting through these comments there as quick as I can. All right, let me just I've seen one of these spammers, so let me just get rid of that. It's usually a sign when they start to come on there that they're starting to get, it's going to get away from me. So I am drawing to a close. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. I'll get rid of as many as I can. You see, there was a thing on here the other week which was really good that says as soon as you block this user, it took it all off. It was great. I felt a strong energy. You see, I'm going to highlight this as well because we're on it. I felt a strong right. If you're that good tarot card reader, right? Why not do it for yourself? Why not? Why do you come on people's things there? So I've got a little prediction for you, right? You're not going to be successful. So that Queen of Cups there is telling you to use your strength, your energy to go out there and forge a living for yourself. So I'll be as polite as I can do. If you're spiritual and allegedly working on other people's behalf, go and do it off your own back, okay? Get off my channel. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. You're not welcome. Ah, dear, honestly. Let me just get rid of that. Nearly got on my soapbox, guys, there, didn't I? Let me just get rid of that. Right. So we're coming towards the end, guys. I'll go through them at the end and block all of them and get rid of them. Can we report these spammers comments? Yes, you can. Just block them. Facebook won't do bugger all about them. I have reported one particular one about 15 times, and they're saying that they're not blocking anything. They're not doing anything wrong. So, right, a couple more cards. Tarot reader, do one. I've got to highlight that. No, that's my sort of comment. Yeah, tarot card reader, do one, you knob job. I love it. Right, where's it going? Where was it going? Oh dear, love it. If you have time, please can I have a card. I hope you're still on. Because I did say I was going to go on to 8 o'clock. As per usual, I have run past. But here we go. So Shannon, and you can look back at these later on. If you can watch on the replay or share with your friends, it's much appreciated. So the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords, if you look at the lady in the middle, that's surrounded by her own thoughts. The swords there represent a problem, an obstacle, or something that she needs to overcome. She can't quite see the wood for the trees because she's got the blindfold on. Interestingly enough as well, she's also got a chain round her wrist, which shows me that she's bound in her own thoughts. She's lost in her own head. But if you look at the swords themselves, none of them actually touch it. So this is a case of not being over analytical, not over worrying about things, taking off the blinkers, removing anything that's restricting your way of looking at things, and do it from a place that's in your head. Use your brain. Don't get overawed by the heart and the emotions, because what tends to happen if we do it from the feels, we'll react. Whereas if we do it from the head space and the analytical, we'll tend to strategize. So this is coming out of a place of fear and actually facing up to things and just having a look what's in your reality. Okay. So, and I've also got the apprenticeship card for you, which is the 8 of Pentacles. So new learning and new ways in the way that you derive your money. So put all of your efforts in to whatever training that you want to do, whatever path that you want to go down. Remember the aspect of non-material wealth, and non-material wealth, for those that were watching earlier, is all about how you invest in yourself. So you might feel at the moment that you're splitting yourself down quite a number of different paths. My key word for you as I leave your energy is about focus. Okay, so focus on what you actually want. So as I'm seeing there that I've got behind with the cards there. Hi, Tara. Let me just keep going there. I'll just show that there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I always think. You see, when I started with this, I found it a struggle. It's not a joke. He's British. That's what. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure what that means. I probably missed something. This me? All right. Okay. I look like an alien. It's only because I'm bald, though. It's only because I'm getting old. I look like an alien. I can assure you I'm not. Right. There's my cup with the big letter R on it. And I'm sat here with my little clock. And I can't move. Oh, I really like that. Maybe it's just because I've been watching the X-Files a lot. I don't know. I'm an alien. Oh, right. Okay. I'm a bald humanoid alien or an alien wearing a human skin. Well, I can assure you I'm not. But I will tell you what I will say. Thank you for that comment, because that's made me smile. That's made me smile. I think in the end as well, to just sort of add a little bit to that, that I may well be one of those that's going up to the 5D level. Who knows? I'm just a basic, ordinary guy. I was a prison officer for 12 years, and I came into this spiritual world very late with things. And a lot of my life is now making sense in reverse. So I would always say to you that I was never a particularly spiritual person when I was younger, but I've just started to realize now what I'm being shown is that I've seen spirit for a long, long time. And it's a bit of a strange old journey, but it looks like Winston Churchill, only not that fat. All right, thank you. Oh dear, what's that one? Yeah, truthfully, yeah. So I think what I'll do, because I'm like running out of time there, I'll just make sure I've got as many as I can there. The person that is trying to get your friends request, right? Okay. Thank you very much, KL Martini. I appreciate that. I will get those comments removed when we finish as well. You kicked out a few. Thank you. I really appreciate that, wifey. And I'll get to it. This is the problem with not having somebody that sat in your comments all of the time, and I'm not 100% sure how to do what you call it, getting them off. So I'm going to stop it there, right? And I'll just get to the end of that and just say thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. I will make more of an effort to. I'm looking at doing 2 per week. One to do the work that are doing with the card readings. That's assuming that my spaceship docks at this place, and the second one is on the more serious of the mental health podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please share with your friends, your other creatures, your other moonlanders. Oh, I'm awful for taking the piss on her. But also keep an eye out for the work that we're doing with Fortune Cookies, Vibing with the Tribe, which is your Monday morning get up, boost, energy working, and then recording next Thursday at 1 o'clock UK time. I think it's 8 a.m. East Coast time in America, where we're doing the Psychic News Network. So what I'm going to leave you with is thank you very much for tuning in to me. Those that didn't like me, don't give a shit. Those that did, thanks for tuning in. Keep shining and keep being the true you. And as always, don't sweat the small stuff. Thank you, guys.